Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment. This time we're playing Banished, a new independent game produced by Shining Rock Software, which is, I believe, either a one or a two-man operation, which I'm pretty excited about because I really like independent games, early access, dealing with the small developers who really enjoy taking feedback from the community and putting those new features into the game. They're very open to that sort of thing. This is a city building and resource management game this time around. What we have here, if you're familiar at all with Rise of Nations, Age of Empires, StarCraft, that kind of thing, where you go around collecting the resources, you have the gold, you have stone, you need to get wood, food. That is, in essence, what we're going to be doing with Banished. What we have is a small group of villagers, I believe maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 people, who, for whatever reason, have left their original home. I don't know if they've been kicked out due to witchcraft or running a house of ill repute, or perhaps they robbed the local bank, then moved on, not sure. But here they are, they show up, they have a cart, a handful of items, and the goal, quite simply, is to keep them alive. Sounds simple, but you need to provide all the goods and services that they will need in their flourishing little town. I've started a new one here. I've actually got a couple things going. It's a few hours in, so yeah, it will be a slow-paced, very casual game. You're not going to build Rome in a day, as they would say. This is a very much, you will pick and choose things. You have to wait for the resources to become available. You may even have to wait for villagers to become available. As I said, you've only got a few, and if they are unavailable, if perhaps they get sick and in fact pass on, you now have one less person to work with, to be blunt. So here we are. We'll take a quick look at a few different things. We will start, actually let me get back to the center of town, and we'll start right here with our main resource square, so to speak. This is the stockpile. The non-perishable goods will go here. As you can see, we've got firewood, we've got iron, and we've got some logs. If I had mined some stone, that would go here. Coal would also go here. The perishable items, such as what we have listed here, the berries, pepper, fish, mushrooms, onions, venison, that all goes in the storage barn. So the first thing that happens with this is you need to provide shelter for your wee little citizens, which means building these little houses right here, such as this wooden house and this one and this one. I have, let's see, 4, this would be 5, and then we'll eventually build a stone house down here once I get all of the resources. When I first got to town, the first goal was to get food. The first thing they have to have is a home to keep them warm. The second thing they have to have is food, else they will starve. Right after that, on the priority list would in fact be wood and logs. So the logs will get turned, the logs are used for building. The logs also get turned into firewood at the woodcutter. That will then be distributed out to the homes so that they can actually heat them during the cold winter months. As you can see, we're just getting a bit of a rainstorm coming down, nice gentle rain for everything. I started off with the fishing dock, which is right here. We have, I believe, 4 people working on that to provide food for our citizenry. This is my trading post that actually has a few items in it. The merchants that come along are somewhat few and far between. I've managed to get 1 or 2 things, but nothing of great consequence. I think my big to-do was getting some wool, and I've put in a purchase for some seeds. I'd like to get some different seeds for apples, pears, corn, and wheat, so that we can actually grow some different crops and feed the citizens that way. The seeds would then go into something similar to this, which is our crop field. I'm actually growing pepper. Although it looks like a green pepper, I do believe it is actually the pepper spice that you ultimately get out of this when it's done. So we go from houses to stockpile to doing some farming. The interesting thing is the people will in fact grow old, they will have children, they will pass on, another generation is created, so you actually do have a flux of available workers and the people in your community. As they do their jobs, they become they will become married, I suppose, and grow their families. Like as we saw over here, we have several people living in this particular house right here. So it is a fully start to finish kind of community. So that's actually kind of interesting to keep in mind as we play along. But some interesting things, you can hear the sound of the wood, of the trees actually being chopped down. You can hear the ting of the hammer as it's either digging up stone, or most likely that is my blacksmith down here making weapons. I'm sorry, not weapons. There are no weapons in this game. Actually making tools for the citizens. That is one thing. The goal truly is to get these people to survive. You don't build up a military force and go conquer someone. You're not waiting for invaders to come in and loot all of your town centers or anything like that. It is quite literally to get everybody to survive through the winter and move on to the next year. So when I first started all of this, I actually had to clear. Oh, there goes a tree going down. I actually had to clear all of this area in order to get trees so that I could have the logs. There goes another one. For my different buildings. And it looks like, oh, so we've almost finally reached capacity, which is actually a pretty cool thing. So I cleared all of this. It was actually pretty much strip mined of everything. There was no rocks, no ore, no trees. I actually cleared all that out. Got pretty much used up all those particular resources, but I built the Forester Lodge, and with that you're able to control the cutting and planting of new trees, and everything on the screen right now is all new growth that the 4 villagers who are managing this particular part of the forest have created. So we actually have a nice renewal of supplies. So that's pretty neat. Behind that we have our herbalist who goes around looking for herbs and other ground foraging for food, so to speak, so that they can actually make remedies, help the citizens with their health. We have over here our gatherer's hut. They actually go looking for berries. They go looking for... Oh, is that what I wanted? Actually, they get roots, they get berries, mushrooms, onions, I believe potatoes, and several other things. So, it's our another food source. And, oh, actually over here, this is my tavern. I've actually built a tavern, and you can brew beer in the game. Since berries are the only fruit source, or out of all the things that are available, we actually have different kinds of, I could make apple, berry, cherry, plum, and wheat. The only one that's available to me right now is berries. That's actually done by the gatherers. They bring those up to me, turn them into ale. The ale actually goes out to the citizens and makes them happy. Got a bit of a snow coming down here, so see what we got going on here. 91% full. That's pretty good. See our little citizens walking along. Somebody with a wheelbarrow. This is my pasture. I don't have any livestock, that's why there's nothing going on in there. This is my tailor. I make a few clothes, but we're low on the different resources such as leather hides, which come from the animals of the area. If I actually had a pasture, that would increase quickly. I also don't have any wool because I don't have any sheep. Those are things I actually have to get from a merchant. Still trying to build up trade. That will come along as we progress. This is the hunting cabin. these people actually go out and will hunt the different animals that roam around. I'm sure we'll see them before too much longer. I believe they are deer. So here's another area that I've actually cleared. These are items that can be gathered. This is another stockpile that I've put together. Actually doing that for me. I will probably put another forestry cabin right here to work on replenishing the resources that I've taken. This is the river. Oh, here we go. Here's some deer. Deer or that's probably deer. I don't think it's going to be elk or antelope or anything, but it's venison, so I assume it's deer. So this is our little river. We got some more animals over here. Nice little tree line. The rocks, the stones are used for the framework of the building. The iron is used for the different tools. So this is all iron that I can still mine off the surface. Once I run out of that, I would actually have to build both a mine to dig out the coal and iron, and then I would need to make a quarry which will give me the stone. So both of them are considered to be quite dangerous, and I don't really have enough of a population to spare anyone, so we're gonna hold off on doing that for a little while. I don't have anyone to spare. I don't want to lose anyone. I've just barely gotten them to this point. Nope, we're just starting to build a stone house. Just gathering up the resources. We've got a bit more stone to go. And then we'll have some builders come in and put it together. So as you can see, as the seasons change, these are evergreens. These are... Oh, here we have some venison and a hide, which will be gathered up. But these are seasonal trees, so they actually lose all of their leaves. They will turn... In the autumn season, they will be orange and change the color of their leaves, and then of course they die off, and they'll come back, and it's renewed. It's actually it's very, very cool, very, very nicely done as far as showing the seasons, showing growth, renewal, things like that. If you actually speed the game up to a crazy fast speed, which can go to 10, you can actually watch the seasons change. The small trees will grow. Like this is a new tree that will grow up to be like this one of the larger ones. That's actually some of them in here. I mistook those for being dead and actually harvested them way too soon and realized those were actually the young trees. It was just a seasonal thing, and when I sped it up, I actually watched them grow and understood what was going on there. So a few mistakes with this. So, but it's a very as I said, it's a slow moving game, which I'm actually fine with. I like and really do enjoy sim building games. I love SimCity. I do, strangely enough, like the building aspect of Age of Empires. I actually like gathering the resources and discovering where the different things are, because my military strategy needs quite a bit of work. So if you like that sort of thing, this is actually right up your alley. It's got very nice music. It's very, very peaceful to sit back and watch over everyone and make sure that they have something to do, that they're nice and warm and taken care of. You can see our little blacksmith right here. She's not in the greatest of health. I actually don't have a hospital. I still need to build one of those. She is fixing tools for everybody. I have a hard time clicking that. There we go. Make that go away. Storage for produced goods. So that is most likely right here. Oh, it is full. I actually need to build a new storage barn. That's a bit of a surprise. So let's... where is that? No, that is... Forgive me. I usually have to try a few different things before I get it right. There we go. Storage would be this one. Oh my goodness, it's quite big. So we need to find a good spot for this, actually. Let's put it next to this new house that I was going to build. So we will put it right there. And eventually, once they finish this, they'll come over and build this. Oh, there's a nice... I was going to say flock, but that's clearly not right. A nice gaggle. No, that's geese. A family of deer. We'll leave it at that. Looks like we have some... probably some fruit. This is probably berries. Over here looks like we have some mushrooms. So I have just started getting to the point of having a tiny bit of a surplus of everything. Right in the beginning, it is literally right on the cusp of you just have enough to get to the next, to get through the season. So right now, it's obviously snowing, it's cold, you can see the chimneys are burning the wood. We have firewood for everybody. This person's doing their job over here at the woodcutter. But I've been right on the verge of not having any, or having just barely enough to make the next building, and then we use it up and then it's gone. So I think what we'll do, just to free up some space, I can move some of the things from the storage barn over to the trade merchant. So let's move some pepper and maybe some venison. So we'll move some pepper. We'll put some venison out there, make that available. We'll do a little potato, some onion, and that's probably good because I don't have too much else to offer. So there we go. The citizens will now move that over here, and we'll use that for a little bit of storage and clear this up a little until we actually get all the resources available to finish these two off. They've already been queued to do several buildings. That's why it looks like they're not really doing anything just yet. So, but this is Banished. I've actually played maybe 10 hours, which really doesn't seem like a whole lot, but I find the game fascinating. I'm completely riveted by this, even though some people compare it to watching grass grow. I actually find the way that this is done by Shining Rock to be quite exceptional. It's not a massively produced game. It doesn't have the big studio. Like I said, I think it's one guy. I think it's two brothers. One does the art and programming, and the other one does the music. So, which I find incredibly cool. I love when it's small studios like that, or a couple of guys that get together and make a game, and it's got all these great features of trees that will actually grow. They look different. They sway a little bit. You can see that there's a little bit of snow on them. It's not going to be photorealistic. We're not talking about Skyrim or F1 2013 with its ultra realistic graphics. This is more simplistic. But to be honest, I find this to be an incredible amount of fun. It's a good time to just sit back for a couple of hours to build the next thing, to queue up the next jobs that you want people to do. Like I said, this is quite an accomplishment for me to actually have a stockpile, a surplus of logs, and a surplus of perishable items inside of the storage barn. As you can see, a couple... We're down to 98% as people use them, and they get shipped off to the what is this again? The trading post. I don't even know what I'm doing. But you run out of weapons, or not weapons. I keep saying that. My apologies. It is no weapons, no military, no fighting. This is quite literally just a peaceful little village of people who simply want to survive. Again, why they are here, I don't know. I'll come up with all sorts of nefarious stories as to why they were kicked out, but I'm sure none of them are true. But we have the blacksmith. This person has to fix all the tools and make sure they're available. I did have it to where just about everybody's, the pickaxes, the shovels, whatever tools they were using, were all completely damaged. I'm sure that was slowing progress down quite a bit. Finally got this back up and running, got enough logs to make it useful. So there's still a ton left to do. So we'll just have a quick look. We've done the stockpile. I don't have a market yet. I actually do need to build one so that people can, have a central area for goods. I do have the trading post. As far as town services, I don't have any of these. I don't have a well. I don't have a school. I don't have a hospital. or the town hall, a church, or even a cemetery. I don't have that yet. I will need to build those because that's all part of life in a little community like this. My food is pretty limited. I have one farm, which is the peppers that I was showing off before. I do have the fish. I do have a hunting cabin, the gatherer's hut. I do have the pasture, although it is not useful because I don't have the animals yet. I will have to wait for those in trade, so that will actually be a pretty good accomplishment when I get it. The crop field, like I said, I have one, which is the peppers, but there's available to have wheat, which I could then use to make food, which I could then use to make a different kind of beer. I can get more fruit, make different kinds of alcohols, and feed the citizens, take the seeds, and then turn around and build more yet again. Making a mine and a quarry has me quite nervous, but eventually I'm sure I will have to do those, simply because I know I'm going to run out of iron ore. I know I'm going to run out of stone. Looks like that tree almost just killed that poor little guy. He seems to be fine. The game is, like I said, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I find it a very good time to just sit back and watch. I just find this, I think the music is cool. I like watching the little snow scene that we've got going on right now. I think this is pretty slick. There's already been a couple of small updates, so I fully expect that this game is going to get updated on a regular basis. We're going to see all sorts of new features, and wouldn't be surprised if maybe another dev joins the team, sort of like what happened with Minecraft. It starts off small, but once people get going, things build up, and the money comes in, and all sorts of new things get to happen. The game is available at Steam. It's been on sale. It varies. I picked my copy up for $9.99. I think it's at $14.99, but the sale will go through June 30th, so it might drop again. It's also available at Good Old Games, GOG.com. It was $9.99 there just the other day. You can pick it up from the developer himself at Shining Rock Software, and Humble has it. The people who usually give us the Humble bundle, they have copies of it. So between one of those 4 or 5, you should be able to pick it up for a pretty good price. $20 is still, not really a whole lot for a game that I think, if you want to play it the way, approach it with that attitude. If you like gathering resources, you like city builders, you like that little, sim style game, and you're willing to put in the time, $20 is not. That's pretty cheap for a game that I think has got some pretty rich development going on inside. So as we just kind of pan over and take one last look at our area, like I said, I'll be building this up. See some resources, some food, some new trees that are developing. It looks like the trees will actually regenerate even if you don't do anything. It's just your guys make it a little bit faster. Kind of hoping a trade boat would come, because it looks like it's just a big rowboat. Oh, the other thing, forgot to mention, all the resources are available right from the beginning. It's not like an Age of Empires or another, other games where something has to be unlocked. Everything is available right from the start. It's just whether you have the people, the resources to build it. It's like if you don't have enough wood, you can't build something. If you don't have enough, if you don't have the fruit, you can't make the different kinds of beer. No, your capacity again. For example, the thing I was going to point out is you can actually make a bridge across these, since we're not dealing with giant ships that come through. Little deer crossing the water there. I believe... Oh, there are roads. There are roads and bridges. There we are. So here's the wooden house. Here's the stone house. That is a boarding house. Actually, I'm on the wrong one. The wheel is the road. You can make a dirt road, which I do have right up here in the corner where the mouse is. You can make a stone road so that people move faster, so they actually can get from one place to another. There's a wooden bridge, and then a tunnel. So that's kind of interesting that it would be a tunnel. That looks like it's going to use stone in order to get done. This wooden bridge will be wood, of course, and stone. Different units for how long it is. So in theory, we'll just give it a shot here. No, here we go. So if I were to start this here, that would make a bridge. But we'll leave that for another time. I'm not quite ready to go over to this side of the world yet. We'll leave that undiscovered for a little bit, but when I'm ready, that'll be available. So there you go. That's Banished. Like I said, I wasn't aware of this game up until like a week ago. Saw the little demo, thought it was pretty neat, and then it almost immediately went on sale at Steam. I picked it right up. I don't know if it was early access. If it was, I sadly missed it, but $9.99. I didn't blink twice picking this up. Like I said, I love working with the independent developers, and I wish them all the success. But there it is. That is Banished. That's what it looks like. That's how it plays. It's extremely simple in concept, but there's actually a lot to it. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, as I have been the victim of. I've sadly not provided the people enough fuel for the winter, and unfortunately had to read the sad news that most of them had frozen to death. So this is actually a restart of a game, so that I can actually learn from my mistakes. So there you go. We'll get rid of this off the side of the screen so that you can watch the nice snowfall over Banished. So go pick up a copy. Leave some comments. Tell me what you think of the game. Tell me how your city is going, and we'll be back later looking at another game. Not sure what it's going to be, but it will be fun, and we'll all enjoy it. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.